Welcome, dreamer. You're listening to Evernight Stories, a quiet place for gentle tales and peaceful dreams. Make yourself comfortable. It's time to rest. The night is near, and the last light of autumn drifts softly across the world. The air carries that quiet scent of earth after wind, cool, rich, and full of memory. Take a slow breath in and out. Let your thoughts settle like leaves on still water. You walk along a narrow path that winds through a sleeping forest. The trees rise high above you, tall, ancient, and kind. Their branches meet overhead, forming arches of gold and bronze that seem to hold up the sky. The air glows faintly between them, a soft amber light shifting through the mist. The ground is carpeted in leaves, russet copper, pale yellow, each one a quiet note in a vast autumn song. With every step they murmur beneath your feet, a language older than words. Breathe again, in and out, slow and steady. Somewhere ahead a bell sounds faintly, not metal, but wooden, deep and low. It is the sound of the wind moving through hollow trees, echoing through the forest like a call to prayer. You follow it. Soon the path opens into a clearing, and you see them, the great trunks rising like pillars, their crowns intertwined above. Between them, the light spills in long beams, painting the air with gold. Dust and leaves float within it, like drifting incense. This is no man-made temple. This is the Cathedral of Falling Leaves, a place where the forest remembers how to breathe. The world slows here. Even the wind lowers its voice. You stand at the threshold, surrounded by the hush of distant wings, the scent of pine and moss, and the gentle warmth of dying sunlight. Take one more breath, in and out, and step quietly inside. You step beneath the arching branches, where the forest deepens into quiet gold. The air feels thicker here, touched by light that moves like slow water. Every sound, the whisper of leaves, the sigh of distant wind, seems softened, as though the world has been wrapped in silk. The path ahead glows faintly beneath the drift of fallen leaves. You move slowly, feeling their soft crackle beneath your steps. They are cool and dry, carrying the scent of the season, pine, earth, and smoke. Each leaf seems to hold a fragment of sunlight, and when the breeze stirs, they lift and turn, their edges catching the light before falling again. Breathe with them, in and out, a rhythm as ancient as the forest itself. The trees lean gently over the trail, their trunks wide and dark, mottled with lichen. Some twist like old columns, others stand straight and solemn, holding their crowns of fading color. The wind moves through them like a whispering choir, a low, endless murmur that seems to speak directly to your chest. You walk on, the air cooling around you. Tiny seeds drift past your face, silver in the sunlight. In the distance you glimpse a stone arch, half collapsed, wrapped in vines, its surface streaked with moss and shadow. It feels older than anything you've ever seen, as though the forest grew around it rather than after it. You pause before the arch, resting your hand on its surface. The stone is cool, faintly damp, breathing in its own quiet way. Beneath your fingertips, you feel the faint grooves of long faded carvings, unreadable but still alive. The light between the stones flickers as leaves drift past, slow as falling time. You take another breath, deep, easy, unhurried, and step through. Beyond the arch, the light shifts. The gold deepens to amber. Shafts of sunlight filter through the trees like pillars of glass, each beam filled with dust that glows as it moves. The air feels warmer here, a sanctuary hidden inside the season. You notice the silence, not empty, but full. It's the silence of breath before words, of thought before prayer. Even the forest seems to listen. A small gust rises, carrying a swirl of leaves upward in a golden spiral. They rise high, catching the sun, turning the clearing into a soft, trembling storm of light. For a moment, the air is alive with motion, glowing fragments drifting through the stillness, like spirits at play. You tilt your head back, eyes half closed, and let one fall gently into your palm. Its edges curl slightly, paper thin and weightless. The veins shimmer in the light, delicate as thread. For a heartbeat, you feel as though you're holding the forest's pulse. Then the wind quiets, the leaves settle, the world exhales. You continue walking, your steps almost soundless now. A faint trail of light follows you, gold caught on air, dissolving behind you as you move. Each step feels slower, steadier, as though the ground itself is guiding you forward. In the distance, you hear something soft, the sound of water moving over stone, a small stream perhaps, winding through the forest's heart. The sound is gentle, like whispered words you can't quite make out. You follow it, drawn by its calm. The trees thin slightly, and through their trunks you see flashes of light reflected on the surface of a shallow creek. Its current is slow, weaving through a bed of smooth stones. The water catches fallen leaves and carries them forward, bright shapes floating like tiny lanterns towards some quiet unknown. You kneel beside the stream. The surface mirrors the amber glow above, every ripple bending the light into ribbons. You dip your fingers in. The water is cool, clear, endlessly soft. In and out. The sound of your breathing joins the rhythm of the water, the rustle of branches, the hush of leaves. For a moment, It feels as though the forest has been waiting for this, for someone to arrive and breathe with it, gently, quietly, alive. And as you rise again, droplets slide from your fingers, catching sunlight as they fall, tiny sparks of gold that fade before they touch the ground. You follow the stream deeper into the forest, the path softening beneath your feet until it feels more like memory than earth. The sound of water fades, replaced by the slow hush of leaves drifting from above. They fall in silence, one by one, steady and patient, and each one lands like a heartbeat. The light has changed again. It moves through the trees in long amber columns, the color of late afternoon before the world begins to dim. Dust rises in the glow, suspended like breath in cold air. Everywhere there is motion without noise, leaves turning, shadows swaying, light trembling in golden haze. You lift your eyes. The forest canopy above resembles the ceiling of a cathedral, arches of gold and bronze, curving toward a sky so pale it looks like glass. When the breeze passes, it stirs the branches just enough for sunlight to shimmer, like stained glass shifting in a quiet church. The colors move across your face, warm and cool, gold and blue, fading as quickly as they appear. You take a slow step forward. The air feels alive around you, thick with the scent of bark, rain, and distant wood smoke. The ground is uneven here, roots pushing up through moss, old stones half buried beneath centuries of fallen leaves. And then, among them, you see something unexpected. A small wooden bench, weathered and pale, sitting beneath an oak whose branches stretch wide enough to shelter it completely. You approach. Upon the bench lies a single open book. Its pages flutter in the wind, though no words are written upon them. A leaf, large, golden, and veined with light, drifts down from above and lands softly between the blank pages, as though the forest itself has decided to leave a note. You stand there for a moment, the sound of your own breath the only thing that moves. In and out, slow and quiet. The leaf rests in the center of the book, unmoving. The sunlight catches on its edges, turning it translucent. You imagine that, if you could listen closely enough, you might hear it whisper. You close the book gently, letting the leaf remain inside, a bookmark of time, pressed between moments. When you lift your hand, a faint trace of gold dust lingers on your skin. You sit. The bench is cool and smooth beneath you, the air around still humming with quiet life. You feel the forest settle. Branches sigh, wind slows, light deepens. A calm spreads through your body, from your fingertips to your breathing. Above, a flock of small birds passes through the amber sky, their wings flickering like sparks in sunlight. You watch them rise and fall, tracing invisible paths between the trees. Their song is faint, almost uncertain, a sound that belongs entirely to this hour of light between day and night. The forest darkens by degrees, though no shadow feels heavy. The light does not fade, it softens. The leaves seem to glow from within, pulsing faintly, as if holding on to the warmth of summer just a little longer. You breathe again, in and out. The air tastes of wood and dusk, and something faintly sweet, the scent of the season's last flowers hiding among roots and fallen bark. You run your hand over the wooden bench, tracing the grooves and scratches. It feels familiar, though you cannot recall from where. Perhaps everyone who has ever rested here leaves a little memory behind, a soft echo woven into the wood. A few leaves tumble from the trees above, spiraling down in silence. You watch one land near your feet, its veins glowing briefly before turning dull again. For a moment, you imagine the forest collecting all these leaves, one by one, until it knows every season that has ever passed through its hand. You rise slowly. The book remains where it was, the leaf tucked safely inside. You leave it as you found it, a quiet story still being written. The air hums once more. The forest seems to breathe with you. And as you step away from the bench, the amber light follows, spilling softly over your shoulders, like the touch of something that remembers. The forest deepens into blue. Evening has come quietly, without edges or sound, a gradual dimming like breath, slowly drawn in and held. The amber light thins, folds upon itself, and becomes a pale silver mist weaving between the trunks. You walk softly through it. The world feels lighter now, less solid, as though the air and the ground have begun to blur together. The leaves underfoot no longer crunch but sigh, a soft rustle, a half whisper, like fabric brushed against stone. Somewhere far above, a single note rings through the canopy. Not music, not quite a voice, just the vibration of a branch shifting in the wind. Another follows, lower this time, deeper, echoing from a tree on the other side of the clearing. Then another, and another. The sound builds gently, slow, uneven, alive. You realize it's the forest itself, playing its own quiet hymn. Each tree contributes its voice. One creaks like a cello string, another hums softly as air moves through its hollow. Leaves tremble together like 1,000 tiny chimes. You stop walking. For a moment, you simply stand in the midst of it, surrounded by tones so faint they could vanish with a breath. The air vibrates faintly in your chest, and your own heartbeat falls into rhythm with the sound. Breathe with it, in and out. Let the music move through you, the way wind moves through branches, with no effort, no resistance. The sky above has darkened to indigo. Through the canopy pieces of the moon appear, first a silver edge, then a full white glow framed by skeletal limbs. The light is cool and clean, pouring down through the trees in long ribbons. It gathers on the forest floor like still water, illuminating fallen leaves until they shine like coins scattered in offering. You walk toward the glow. The mist curls around your ankles, pale and weightless. Each step stirs a soft sound, the brush of fabric, the hush of leaves. Ahead, an enormous oak rises from the center of the clearing, its branches wide and old as memory. Beneath it stands a stone basin filled with rainwater. The surface trembles gently with the breeze, reflecting the sky above, moonlight and drifting leaves woven together like threads of silk. You kneel beside it. The water holds 1,000 reflections, branches bending, clouds sliding past, your own face softened by the shimmer. The surface ripples as another leaf falls into it, spinning slowly, tracing circles that widen, fade, and vanish. The air feels holy in its stillness, not sacred because of worship, but because of attention, because the forest itself seems to be aware that night has arrived. The choir of branches softens. The creaks and sighs stretch into long silences. Then a single bird calls, a low note, clear and round, echoing through the trees. It's answered by another, and another still, until the forest hums once more with quiet harmony. You tilt your head back. Above you, thousands of leaves are falling, not in chaos, but in rhythm. Their descent looks almost choreographed, each one gliding on a breath of wind, catching light before it disappears into shadow. It feels as though the forest is closing the day with a blessing. You breathe deeply, the air cool against your throat, heavy with scent, pine, bark, the faint sweetness of moss after rain. Your body relaxes without thought. The muscles in your shoulders soften. Your heartbeat slows. Your breath lengthens. The choir fades now into stillness. Only the smallest sounds remain, the trickle of water, the faint sigh of wind. Even the birds have gone quiet. The night holds itself perfectly still, as though listening for your final breath before sleep. In and out. When you open your eyes again, the moon has climbed higher, its light spilling down like silver silk across the basin, across the leaves, across your open hands. You close your fingers around that light, not to keep it, but to feel it pass through. Somewhere deep in the forest, the last note lingers, long, low, and beautiful. The sound of branches bowing to the night. The night has fully arrived. The forest stands motionless beneath the moon, its branches dark against a sky washed in silver. The mist has quieted. The air no longer moves. Only the faint shimmer of light shifting between the leaves remains. You stand in the clearing, surrounded by stillness so deep it feels endless. Every sound, every motion has fallen away, leaving only breath, your breath rising and falling with the rhythm of the earth itself. The ground beneath you glows faintly, blanketed in fallen leaves that catch the moonlight. Their color has turned from gold to pearl, a soft sheen spread across the forest floor. When the wind stirs again, just barely, a few leaves lift and drift through the air like slow-moving stars. Each one turns, floats, and comes to rest again, silent and sure. Each feels like the forest is blessing its own sleep, a benediction written not in words, but in motion. You lift your eyes once more. The branches above have become a cathedral dome, each line of wood a dark stroke across the glowing sky. Through the gaps, the stars watch quietly, patient and kind. Breathe with the night, in and out. Let the sound of your breath dissolve into the hush around you. Somewhere far away, a single leaf lands softly on the water's surface, one final note, fading into stillness. The forest exhales, the world grows weightless. You close your eyes. The air folds around you like a prayer, cool and calm. There is nothing more to do now, only rest. The cathedral sleep, and in its quiet heart of falling leaves, so do you.